All right. Good afternoon, traders. It's AJ. It's about 11:40 on a Friday afternoon, a full week of trading. A lot of you are exhausted. I mean, we've had an exhausting week, to say the least. Um, and so I just kind of, I do wanted to do a general, uh, uh, a general idea of what to. I mean, everyone knows that Awesome Calls basically we play news events. I mean, we're known for that. I mean, we built the reputation on earnings, analyst calls, upgrades, downgrades, chatter. And we're probably one of the amazing earnings players in the world that can call out calls all day long. Um, Gap up, gap downs, and stuff like that. We're always playing that event. Why a stock is moving. But I think what's important today is I really want to just talk about the basics of really spotting out stocks that are running to the upside, stocks that are selling off to the downside, and stocks that are grinding. Um, and what you don't want to do is you're always looking for that momentum play, that stock that's going to move up or move down, especially if you're a scalper. And what does a scalper do? Scalping is a whole method, a totally different type of trading. A scalper will go in, a guy like me, and just go spot out a downside turn trade. So right here, I'm a scalper, right? I look at this chart and I'm looking at Okada, for instance, and I'm going, if it breaks support of 210, I want to short the stock. Set my risk at 211. Boom, I can spot that out in 2 seconds. You see how that is? So if it breaks support, I want to short the stock. So at 211, I'll put an order in at 210.50 to short, let's say 250 shares. If it snaps that support and it hits, I'll take it, and I'm looking for a point to 2 points to the downside and cover. Okay. And so this is an easy stock to spot out when I'm trading. So right here, I wouldn't take the short. I would wait for the short to clear this support level, which is right here at 210.50. You clear that, you have a downside move right there at 210.50. Bam, there's your move to 1.5. So that is exactly what I'm looking for when I'm scalping a move. At 250 shares, a point, point and a quarter. You're not going to get the full 1.5 because of the bid and ask supply cover on it, and then you clear about $300 on that trade, and it's just a quick scalp trade that you're in and out. What the ones you want to avoid, that you that these are kind of what you call I anticipate a breakout. So like here, you got, let's say, NTNX. Look from the back point here. Okay, so here's a runner. Where would you go long here? Now, in our notes, we had long to 2250. We wanted to pull at the open, go to 2250. If it hits that, then we go to 2490, 24. We want to yank it to 2250, curl it, long it, break out over 2450, and go long to 26 or more. Okay, so on NTNX, this was a beautiful play. The momentum was there. It wouldn't stop. It just kept going, 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 going. It hit the 26 level. It had a topping. See that this is what you call a little bit of a topping, but it wasn't a defined double top. A defined double top is where two of them come together and they cross over. There's no double top here. So if you were to take a short here, you would put your stops at 26.20. You would risk 20 cents, and you're looking for that to break this area here at 25. It's got to come down, snap 25, and then you could bust it down. Otherwise, you would get out right here on this push. I'd be out right there for a small loss if you were trying to force a short. Follow me? So what you want to do is when you're looking at breakouts, like this is a breakout. So um, I'll show you how this thing just really curled around. So curled around, right here's your breakout. You see how it breaks through this support right here? So I want to long that at 24.50 right there, 24.60. That's a very clear support. Okay, and from there, you know what? I'm going to do something here. Okay, I'll put it right there. Okay, so what I do there is these are breakouts. If you're a scalp trader, person that just wants to scalp, here's one right now. Here's one right now. As I'm talking to you, I'll give you this one. See, I would long here. You see how the buyers are coming in? I would long right here, 164. My stops, 164.89, right there, market order. I'd put stops at 163.50 to 163. So that'll tell you on your size. Once it breaks through this, it'll fly to 166. So we'll leave this be, but that's what I'm looking for right there. All right, and then I'll move to the upside. Once a buyer comes in, he'll pop it. Because you see how it's on support? See how they're driving it up? Okay, NTX is being driven up too, starting to break out. Let's see, let's walk this thing up. Let's see. Hold on a second. I can see it moving. Yeah, right there. Okay, you see now, Cadell? You see how it's getting ready to bust through? You can see the buyer right here. He's ready to poke it through that 165. I don't need level 2 to look. I could just see it that it's really trying to push it, but gets there. So once it gets through that resistance right there, it'll go pop. And then you'll get a whole new level of starting to go to 166, 167. So these are like scalp trades that I look for. So your risk is right here at 164. And so let's see if it pops while I'm talking to you. Okay. Um, so you really want to spot these levels on a downtrend and uptrend, especially if you're, let's just say, for instance, I'll show you another one. Here's another area, Ulta. Now, Ulta, okay, I'm going to show you from here. This is what we call a grind. You see how the stock just grinds? Grind is where it's between two levels and it stays in between there for hours. That's a grind. That's a trade. Those are trades you want to stay away from. They don't do you any good. Okay. Um, you're not you're just not going to make any money on it. All right. I mean, you could sit there and try to scalp a move, but there's no scalp to be made. You follow what I'm saying? You have to be, it has to break out. Where would I long Ulta? I would long it at 240. That 240 level, I would take some long, risk a point, and look for a 242 move to the upside. If it can't break through that 240, then it's just going to continue to stay in between. It's going to be a grind. Here's another grind. I'll show you another grind looks like. Dell. This is a grind. These are trades you kind of want to stay away from. All right. These are grinds. You see the levels? 65.40 to 67. Grind. So if you go in there and try to scalp that, Cadell just pop? Yes, I could see that. Bam, done. You see, if you were in our room, you see Cadell now? It's flying. Why? I told you to take that trade just like that. See how I told you? Risk. Now you can move your stops to your entry, and you just made a point in the chat room. Brandy just scored on that one. See, when you're in here for a while and you see me at what I'm doing, these are freebie trades all night. Freebie trades. It's freebie longs. Look, this thing's going to fly now. This is a live trade for anybody that could have took this. Yoli just made $208. Brandy just made some money. I mean, you could do this all day long. Monthly in this room was 197. You just made that. It's done. David D just made 2 points. Okay. So again, you see, a scalp trader can make. Imagine doing 5 of these a day at $200 a pop. Let's just say you missed the morning action, you missed the pushes, you missed this, you missed that, you missed the great dark side of Jenny's calls, you missed Adam's great, and you come in and you come in after work and it's 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. You learn to spot trades and just execute them. Okay, so that's what scalp trading is. All right, now in our room we have certain levels of trading. Like when we're looking at something, like this morning. Here's a perfect example. Alta, for instance, where was the trade on Alta? Okay, forget the notes. Now the notes are amazing. The way this came out, the notes were amazing because basically we set it up. We felt in Awesome Calls Trading, I felt the stock would sell off to 240 and under. I felt there was going to be some profit taking that was going to kick in, and the stock would sell off. And so what I did is I protected the traders and I made it clear. Listen, if this thing snaps 250 you'll get 10 points to the downside. That's exactly what I wrote. Exactly what I wrote. Okay, it says it right here. If you snap 250, you will get to 240. I'm guaranteeing you a 10-point trade right there. Okay, now you're paying a buck 97, $197 and change to be in the chat room, to make thousands of dollars a day, to make hundreds of dollars a day, to make 50 to $100 a day. All right, every single day of your life in here is my goal. So what I'll do is I'll set up a trade like this. And I'll say, look, I've read everything. Price targets across the board. Stock is carrying up 30. I do think they're going to be profit taking. So look for this to pop a little bit on a short squeeze. But when it comes down, once it snaps 250, you'll get 240. So you come in and you're like, okay, show me, show me, show me, show me, show me, show me. So you come in and this is you. Ding, 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 ding. So you're waiting and you're waiting and you're waiting. Now, boom, 250 comes. You start to short right there. Where's your stops? Where's your stops? Right? On a typical trade like Ulta, you want stops at least around. You want to give it little room here at 2 points. All right. So in other words, if you're going to be 250, you got to give it room to 252. This will justify what you want to play, how much you want to play with. So in other words, kind of interpret what I'm saying as a trader. All right. If I take 250 short right here, my stops are 252. So can you play, if you play with 100 shares, you're risking $200 on the trade, right? If you're playing with 200 shares, you're risking $400 on the trade. Every trade you go into, you have to anticipate, what is my stop? Now, you don't want to be one of these traders that it pops to 252 and you don't cover, and then it goes to 255, 256, 257. You're like, okay, what do I do? What do you mean? What do you do? What do you mean? Where's your stop? I told you, risk 2 points. Where's your stop? Well, maybe it'll come down. We wrong room. We're not maybe room. We're not the maybe.com. Okay, we don't do maybe in here. Well, I'm thinking. We're thinking.com. Okay, I think it'll go down. I think it'll go up. We're not like that. We're not wishy-washy. We'll protect our money, protect our assets. Okay. I think NTNX is going to hit that 29 level. I do. I think it's going to hit up here. Take out that high up there. See it? See that breakout? It's going to be slow, but once it hits 50, you'll get up here. Something to keep an eye on. That's why I think it's just going to keep buying into close. It's got too much strength up here. Okay, so on Ulta, you're risking 2 points. Okay, so now the stock needs to come, it's going to come down. Now, it comes down, it pulls. Once it starts to pull, the way I like to manage a trade, all right, is I want to put my stops and my entry. So let's assume I pull to 243. 9 times out of 10, I'm done with the trade. If I have 350 shares, 400 shares in that, and it pulls 4 or 5 points, I'm done. I don't need to look at it anymore. I'm done for the day. Okay? And so I'm looking for that. All right? Now, if you want to manage the trade, what do you do? All right? If you want to manage the trade, then what you'll do is you'll move your stops down to your entry, right? Or into the money by a point or two. And then you take a little bit off. Let's say you take 50% off, right? And then you let the rest ride down to 240. And at 240, you cover the rest and you're done for the day. That's managing the trade, managing a call, managing a trade. You see the downside? There's no buyers in here. These are a little bit short coverings here, short coverings. This is the downside move. Okay? So the other thing you want to, okay, NTNX to continue to move. Yeah. See that? Those are 2 buyers, 3 buyers right there with strength. That should pull through high of the day. and go to that 28.75 area. So if you're scalping with size, 1,000 shares, you're making off that 28. You're making decent money right now. That's good. It's a good trade. A couple of trades while I'm talking. I love it. Okay. Um, Another good trade. Breakouts. Where do you buy Workday? Okay. This was from David G in the chat room. He's awesome. He's a great trader. Okay. So on this one, we didn't want to short the stock unless it broke 237. We were very clear and adamant on that. You need to break 237, and then we can get, because this stock was gapping up quite a bit. You can see right here. See the gap? In order for us to nail a short, we needed to break the 238 area. I think it was 238, correct, traders? David? What did I put? Workday. 237. It needed to pull to 237 to get room to 230. It was not going to gap fill, so I was looking for about right here or a little bit under, and then bottom curl. It was too good of a trade, too good of earnings, so it was just going to make its move to the upside. So what you do in an instance like this, let's just say you went short. Let's say again you went short, and you're going right here on this pull. You're going like, okay, I'm going to short 240. Where's your stops? Again, on workday, you would put stops at a point or point and a half. But again, that's because you got in too early. Wait for the stock to show you that it wants to sell off. Break support. You got to be looking for support and resistance. You can go across here and you can see supports right there. 239.50. You can see supports right here, 238. You need to get through that for you to get a decent short in a stock. Okay, here's Okada. Okay, where's the support? This is your support right here, 210. So I want to bust that and take it down. See how this is a 2-point trade? Here's your 210.50. Short, break that support, smack it down, 2 points. Let the stock show you. Here's another one, Walmart. Okay, now Walmart, the way we set up Walmart, how do you read the chart? Okay, they're entertaining the idea of buying TikTok with Microsoft. So you got two mega giants coming together, buying a company like that. Walmart wants to benefit from TikTok, and of course, Microsoft has the ability to do many things with TikTok. It's actually a really great plan. Yesterday, the great Adam and the great Dark Side issued the alert, and the stock, as you can see, clearly ran. Here, I'll show it to you. And they were calling out, I believe, 138s and 137s at 133, 134. They felt this was really great news, good energy for Walmart, and so today the momentum continued. Now here's your problem. You wake up. Okay, just listen to me for a quick second. Just listen to my logic, so to speak. All right. The deal isn't signed. They still don't have a deal. It's still talking. Analysts love it, but Walmart and Microsoft haven't pulled the trigger yet. You follow what I'm saying? So why is the stock continuing momentum up? Now you're buying on the idea that, wow, this would be great if they buy it. So you're getting a little too excited. This is what we're getting a little too excited too quick. So when I see a gap of, okay, now Walmart, you have to understand, is a massive company. So for it to already make a move this significant in one day, for it to gap up another 2 or 3 points in pre-market, it hits my list. Why does it hit my list? Because then I feel I start to become an analyst at that moment. And I say to myself, this is up too much. Okay. This is up too much up here. So I'm going to look for all these overnighters, all here that took overnight at 137, 138, that wanted to get a gap up in the morning. This is all retail. If you look at the size of the trades, see the size of the trades? 800 shares, 2,000 shares. See these blocks? 700, 316. These are retail day traders all over the world, just going, well, I think Walmart will gap up. I think the news will continue. If it gaps up 2 or 3 points, I could sell in the morning. Boom, I know that. That's automatic. Boom, clockwork. So a guy like me senses that and smells that. So I know what's going to happen at the opening bell. Everyone that's been holding right here that bought into it is going to cash out at the open. Now, Walmart made a significant move, right? So look at the move. Now, is this going to gap fill? Okay. Is this going to gap fill? No, unless Walmart pulls out of the deal or the deal falls apart. If that happens, then you can look short the stock. In other words, if there's a headline that comes across from Adam, Dark Side, or in the morning, Walmart's pulling out the TikTok deal. All of this is gone. Now you fill this gap. This is an important gap to fill. You've got to fill this. So the stock will come rebound right back down to 132, 133. Okay. But for now, it's not, there's nothing to indicate that yet. So the stock still is in play. So I come in and now I have to anticipate the selling of all these traders. So what I do is I initially take a short and I tell the chat room, take short here, 141.25. This is your entry. Why, AJ? I just explained to you in detail. It's up too much. I think overnighters will want to cash out. Where's it going to go, AJ? Okay. Being it's still in play and they're still in the deal, the support, in my opinion, as a professional day trader, the support's going to be around 138, maybe 137.50. When it comes there and finds support, I would long the stock back up and let it grind out to the upside. So now I got to put it in writing. I got to put it in writing. So then before we put it in writing, okay, what's your risk reward? Every time you execute a trade, you must put in your risk reward. What is your risk? Where is your stops? What are you going to limit to? Okay. So AJ comes across and says, okay, Walmart is a short. Nibble small short at 141.25. I don't think it'll go higher than 142. Watch for the topping and short the stock. Once it snaps 140, you'll get 138, 137.50. There is your trade. All laid out, proportioned, everything, right? Because Walmart hasn't pulled out of the deal. So as long as they didn't pull out of the deal, the stock still is in play. But it will not gap fill after yesterday's move. You see the common sense, the logic? This is not done after the fact. This is done out. This is done before the market even opens. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm already analyzing the stock, how it's going to play out. I'm watching it move in pre-market, going, "Oh, that's good. Keep it up there," because that's a short. And then I start coming in with my notes. I'm like, "Start taking short now." This is really important, right? And so at this point now, I'm looking for support. So what do? You come in and you're like, okay, where's my, okay, so let's just say for whatever reason, my clock was off. Okay, and I was out to lunch and I was just, dude, you're on the beach somewhere. I mean, dude, stop. All right. Where would you put your stops? Well, if I took 141.25 and I said give it room to 142, I would set stops 1 point above. Did I? Okay. So if you took 150 shares and you were ready to add, if it popped a little bit above 142, and your stops were going to be, what, say 143, because your average would have been, what, let's say 140, 180. So you'll probably do a 1 point stop. Because if that momentum continues, the stock could rally to 145. I don't think it will. And in my opinion, it shouldn't. But I do believe this stock has reached a topping for now until the TikTok deal is done. So I want to short and I want to take it down, but I want to take it to support from yesterday, which is see the support, see how it's held up on that average right here. You could see it. This is what I'm talking about. See the support, 137.50, 138. It held between that channel. So I come in. Here's my short, 141.25. Now, you've already got your stop. You're ready to add at 142. Your stops are at 142.50 or 142.25 or whatever. and now you execute the trade. Bam, you're done. 138.50. You just scored 2.5, 3 points at the opening bell. 300 shares, boom, $700 in your bank account. Really easy stock to read. Risk, reward. Then shorts come in and cover, pop it back up. Now, where would I reshort the stock? Off this support here. See the support here at 138.50? I would reshort it there. If it breaks that support, I can take it down another 50 cents to $1. Always look for that support. See, you come across, there's support. Draw your line across. Right there. See how it rejected? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times, 10 times. That's your base. Where would you go long? If this curled above and broke above 140, long it there. Show me a curl. Then long it back to 142. Okay? But if it doesn't do that, it can't break out, then it's still a short. Now I want you to see the curl on Walmart. What did I just say? If it curls right around 139.50, 140, there's your long. This is what you call a curl. Momentum to the upside. Found a base. There's your base at 138 per the notes. So let's say you don't want to short a stock, but you want to make money scalping it or move to the upside. Well, let the stock show you the support level. There's the support. See the rejection? Okay, it can't get below that 138. There's your long. Where would you put your stop loss? I would put it probably at 137.50. So I would risk 50 cents. 50-cent trade for potential 2-point move. Risk reward. See, a lot of traders, especially new ones, they don't want to do that. No, no, no. They'll long it here at 139, right? They don't want to take a chance. They don't want to take risk. I'm not like that. I'd rather get in there and get my feet wet, we call it. Get a little bit wet because I feel like the stock will make its move. Now that I see support. Here's a small cap one. Okay, NSYS. Now this one was basically done on the news. They leased back a piece of property for $6 million that was already in talks to do, and they finally completed it. Well, there's no reason for this stock to run then at that point. This is really ridiculous. News was out, after hours yesterday, and then it popped, and then it tried to pop again this morning. It was just ridiculous. So for me, there's a topping already established in pre-market. So here's pre-market, and you can see toppings already established. You see this is topping. It can't break out above. So I come in as a professional day trader, I read the news, and it's automatic short to me. I don't even need to look at the chart. However, I got to set it up for the day traders, especially the technical ones. Where would I short, AJ? Well, in my opinion, the short is already around 7. I would risk 50 cents on that trade because if it breaks through 740, now you're in trouble on a short. Chances are it'll rip 50 cents to $1. Then you could reshort it. So in this instance, if you took 7 short, your risk would have been 40 cents. If it broke through to 740, it would be a long. Why? Because you're breaking through support. See this support right here? Break through that, then you got to move to the upside. This is how you trade small cap, right? To me, again, it's a short. There's nothing justifies a long in this stock. It is a complete short. But what I want to do is I want to make sure, before I go in and short it, like where are going to be my stops. So if I'm going to short at 7, my stops are at 40 cents. So if I want 1,000 shares, I have to risk $400 on that trade. If I want 500 shares, then I'm risking $200, $250 on that trade, 20 cents. Okay. So yeah, I'm actually risking about $200 I'm risking for 40 cents. If you want to do 2,000 shares short because the news is telling you it's going to come down, which is great, then you still risk that 40 cents at 7. So now you're risking $800 for a $2,000 return on your money because all you need is 1 point, right? So now let's execute. So now let's read the notes. Okay, so the notes come in and they say it's our number one pick, and it says, do not buy unless you push through 7, because at that time the stock was sitting at 650. Then look for a quick 1 point, top it off, and then short it. Otherwise, look for a small pop, lower low set in, and a fade to 450. Right? So now you become the trader. You walk in. AJ thinks the news is garbage. So AJ says, right, here comes the opening bell. Clearly you can see ding, 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 ding. It's not breaking out. It can't even get above. Lower lows start to set in. Lower low. See that? Lower low. Right there's your short. 630. You take some short here. Where's your risk? 650. If it breaks through that 650, it'll rip again. So you're protected. So this gives you the signal to take the short. Lower low. Okay? Take your 2,000 shares, your 1,000 shares. You're going to risk 20 cents, right? So $200 for a 1 point win. So you want to make $1,000 today. This is your trade. Ding, 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 ding. Popped. Didn't break out. Lower low set in. Short the stock. 1,000 shares. 628 entry. Slam it down within what? 10, 11 minutes? 12 minutes? 13 minutes? You're already at 530. You basically cleared almost $1,000. 1 point move. And you're done for the day. Will the stock go lower? Yes. Throughout the day. It'll take forever for the stock. Okay? And then here's the 450. Remember I said? Again, I'm an analyst. What's the value? 425 to 450. So you're given a value. I'm given a value. I wrote it 2 times, 425 to 450. So I'm giving you a signal where it's going to end up with, and then base. And look where it based. 425, 450. And see the curl back up? I'm an analyst. I'm not a day trader. I'm not a trader. I'm I'm an analyst. Everything to me is a number. What's the value? Everything has value. So, and I really encourage anybody that loves small cap to short. Um, I don't try to sell you, you know, I don't go in there and give you a circus why a stock's going to come down. I just tell you straight up. This is number one of 12 ideas. It's up to you to take the trade, not me. I'm just going to tell you what the value of the stock. Okay? So, here's one I like to kind of, this is what we call topping. What does topping look like? Okay? This is what we call topping. Janny taught me this years ago. This is when a stock makes a decent run, right, in pre-market or whatever. Just it runs. It's just kind of almost like a imbalanced stare. It just keeps going up, down, up, 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 up. These are really terrible market makers. You can tell the market makers are really a joke on this one. It's just the way they trade the stock. Every pop gets dumped. Every pop gets dumped. Every pop gets dumped. Every pop gets dumped. It's not even a stare. I mean, it just. I'll show you a stare. Like Walmart's totally different market makers, totally different type of stock. So if you look at the difference of the way the chart looks, you see it's a stare. Walking up, walking up, watching it up. You see here, when it gets smaller and thinner, you know, it walks up and then you drop off a cliff. Walks up, drop off a cliff. Walks up, drops off a cliff. So when you get something like this, you want to short that because that's going to completely jump off a cliff. That's just falling off. Okay. So on something like this, how do you identify topping on a stock? All right. This is topping. You're making a move, and then you see how like right here, it's almost like it stops. And then a small lower low sets in, and then a lower low comes in. You see how there's no breakout here, none. And you got pretty decent volume. Look at the volume. 70, 50,000 shares, 50,000 shares, 50,000 shares. See these blocks? But you see, when you look at it, see how it's just topping off? Parabolic move, pull back, push, pull back again. This is topping. And then it also becomes like just a small loop down, like a little moon, half moon, just starts to come down. This is topping. This is where you can make good money. Where would you short this? Here. I know it looks good here. Well, why wouldn't you short this 24.80? I want confirmation. So where's the confirmation to short XPEV? Support. Take it across. Where's support? Right there. 24.50. You snap that, you got a nice fader on the stock. And then you're looking for a gap fill. So where's the gap fill? You come over here. It closed at 20. I'm sorry, this is wrong stock. XPEV. Okay. It closed at what? $22 a share. So I want to gap fill that down to $22 a share. I want to take it right back down. So you starting at 24.70, you're just getting confirmation. So right here, you broke support at 24.55, right there. You broke it again at 24.50. What is your risk and reward? So what you want to do is you go, okay, I'm going to take 1,000 shares short. Where's your risk? Right here, 24.75. If it gets through that, chances are to make a move to 25. So you put your stops firm. So you make it very clear to yourself, look, I'm going to risk $250 on this trade. I'm looking for a dollar move to the downside. So once you set your risk, you don't need to really look at the stock every 5 seconds because your risk is set. You understand what I'm trying to tell you? Right? A lot of traders, they'll stare at the stock. Stare at, stare at, stare at, stare at, stare at. Dude, stop. Take a chill pill. All right? All right? Put the Red Bull down. You don't need to be drinking Coke anymore. Stop. All right? Have a mellow yellow. Glass of champagne. Relax. It's going to be all right. It's not the end of the world. It's a trade. Your risk, 25 cents. Your reward. Now, here's the thing you have to understand as a day trader. And I want you to listen to me. When you day trade in this room, you're playing chess. When you play chess and you're a grandmaster, you're 10 moves ahead, sometimes 20. But when you're coming up, you got to at least be 5 moves ahead. I'm a grandmaster. I already see the move. Son, it's like once you do this and you do this, checkmate. I see you and I'm going to win in about 15 minutes. You see when a guy says it, he looks at you and you make a move and you're like you're playing chess and he just looks at you, he makes a move on the chessboard and you're like your mind just saw 8 moves ahead and you're like, okay, you just lost. And the guy can't see it. Or the lady can't see it. What are you talking about? You just lost. You ever see chess players play? They just look at you for a second like, I just won. Okay, that's what I do. But I do it before the market even opens. I visualize this entire move as I wrote it down an hour before the market even opened. Okay? So for me, when once I identify topping, break to support, I know I'm going to gap fill. So I go write it down. So XPEV. All right? Unless this stock gets through 25 with fierceness, you might get a quick 1 point. Otherwise, 25 is the topping, right? Once it dumps to 23.50, you go to $22. You see how I laid it out? I'm telling you, it's got to bust through 25 for you to even consider. Listen to what I'm telling you. Listen deeply what I'm saying. I don't want you to come in here in this room like, well, I want to take it because I think. No, stop. You're not in here to think. You're in here for me to show you how to think because I know what this stock's going to do. You've been trading 6 months, 2 years, 3 years. You're still a newbie. You need to take a chill pill. Let me show you how the stock's going to move at the open. If it does this, then you can long it. Then I'm guaranteeing your paycheck. Okay? If it doesn't hit that, it's just gonna collapse. You want a guaranteed short? wait for 23.50 to collapse, then you go to 22 and you're done with the trade. So what happens to that point and a half in between? It's up to you. I'm telling you, it's still going to come down to 22. But you want confirmation? Snap 23.50 and you'll see the 22. Okay, AJ, you're on. I'll take 3,000 shares on that trade. Right? So I can already see, based on what Jani's taught me over the years, that's topping already. So a pro, a grandmaster, would be shorting right here, setting stops at 24.80, taking it at 24.50, risk 30 cents, and now I'm waiting for that 23.50 confirmation. Pulls 23.50. All right. Now my stops are up here. So I'm already in the money. So where would I put my stops then? 24.20, 24. I'd stay into the money, right? So if it does get away from me, I still have 30, 40 cents of money off of 2,000 shares. I'm still guaranteed $600. But if AJ's right and this thing flushes down to 22, I'm going to make a fortune. I can make $6,000 on this trade on 2,000, 3,000 shares. 1,000 shares, I can make a couple grand today. So now watch it play out. Boom. Where does it go? $22 a share. There it is. Support, $22 a share. $22 a share. You see, I'm an analyst. I'm a grandmaster, right? I saw this thing 20 moves ahead. Once you did this, game was over for you. This is what I try to teach each and every one of you every single day in the room. I want you to be all a grandmaster. I want you to look at that and analyze it and go, man, that's topping, lower lows, long it, risk, reward, size, boom. This is what's going to make you a consistent day trader every single day for the rest of your life. Not for a week, not for a month, but for every day you don't want to pull the trigger and day trade. Now, to me, I'm red today. It was probably the most. I'm down a couple grand. There's nothing I can do. It started with fills. It started with I was all over the place. I've had a good week. It doesn't matter. I traded like my computer went out. TD bad fills. I mean, literally, I take a short. I literally take a short. You know, I know. I went long Cudell. This is how my day started. I went long. I tried to get filled right here, but you gotta, something about TD. You gotta wait. You just got, they just don't fill at the opening bell. I mean, you literally got to wait like 90 seconds, but they'll take your order and they'll hold it up here. So imagine getting filled at 117.17, and then when they fill you, but when they finally do it, the stock's down here, right? You're done. You're down 5 points. And you just stare at the screen like, wow, I just got screwed. And then you get frustrated and you go back in and trade it and you keep every day. It snowballs. So today was a bad day. It was a bad day. I couldn't get anything going. It happens. I might be a grandmaster, I might be a great trader, I might be the most consistent, but it happens. It's part of life. All right. And I look at it as TD's made me more money than they've lost me money. So it's just one of those things that I can go in there and complain, see what they do, but chances are they're going to go, dude, enough. Okay. It sucks. So what this taught me to do again is I kind of have to wait. Either that or take the move in pre-market. And sometimes it's hard for me to do it because I'm typing and getting the notes out. I'm answering questions and DMs in the morning. It's like, okay, okay, okay. So I don't have that luxury to get in there on pre-market and just start building positions. So when it does but then even still, if you think about it, it does push and I still try to execute a sell and they don't want to sell it and then they pull it a flat or a loss on the trade, even though I should have won. I mean, that's just TD. That's your platform. And I've learned many times there's only so much complaining you can do. You don't like them, move the platform. Quit complaining. So you know what? Yeah, You're right. Enough complaining. But hey, I had a really good week. Yesterday was phenomenal. I mean, phenomenal. I don't make $4,000 days, 3,700. I don't know about a lot of you, but to me, that's a lot of money. I, ca- I can't even imagine doing an $8,000 to $10,000 day trade. I mean, my day's gonna come. I've had them over the years, but I'm not a gunslinger. I trade within my means. You could call me conservative, but I want to be known as the most consistent day trader in the world. So, um, but I do think this Cadell, we just need a few more analysts to come out and defend it, and I just think this will eventually get back up. But it's got to show us because right now I like the way it's holding support, though. I do like that. It's not like it's just an all-day downhill, so that's a good thing. I do still think it's oversold, but I would prefer a 170 on Monday and then kind of make a nice move to the upside. But yeah, I think I need another analyst to back it up. More of a tier one, not a tier two or tier three analyst. So anyway, listen, I wanted to talk to you today because I wanted you to just kind of, you know, set your risk rewards. Don't be in a trade and be down 6 points and go, what should I do? I cannot stand that. I think that is the most ludicrous thing when people do that. Well, what should I do? I'm down 6 points. What are you doing? I mean, set your risk, your reward. This is my risk. And if the stock's showing momentum, flip your idea, go long. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. I had a great trader today. Good trader in the chat room. His name is Just to Learn. He wanted to short right here. He's like, boss, can I short right here? I go, Just to Learn. I'm sorry. I think it's the momentum move. I think it's going to hit that 26. I would not short it. You know what he did? He went long, 500,000 shares. Didn't even hesitate because he knows me. And he cashed out up here. I love that. I love that. I love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. Love that. I love that. I love Just to Learn because I have a little thing in here in the chat room. If you ask me to short and I say, don't do that, that's a long, then take your mindset out, flip it long, risk 200 shares, and go. 50 cents on a 200 share move, where you risk $100 for a buck 50 to make 350. Do it. It all adds up in the end. And don't get so biased. Well, I think like this is just, I don't care what the chart. You cannot be a trader like that. You know, okay? You think that people at Tesla, huh? How many people went broke on Tesla or are literally broke, huh? In the last 30 days alone. 1,500 is too much. 1,600 is too much. 1,700 is too much. Dude, just stop. I mean, stop. You know, don't think you're smarter than what the chart's showing you at those moments. I mean, Tesla's just. Do we all think it's worth $2,300? No, there's nothing in the books that can tell you. You couldn't sell me it's worth 2,300, but it is. It is, huh? Did you think Amazon would be $3,500? What about the short seller at 3,000 buying puts for 2,900? What's he doing right now? Huh? It's over for him. These tech stocks, they're on another planet, right? So, anyway, always set your risk so you'll be rewarded. If you hit a loss, it's not the end of the world. It's part of the business. Your main thing is to overcome your losses, limit your losses, and be comfortable with those. I'm comfortable when I lose. I'm comfortable because I'm not stressing. I know what I made this week. So if I lose a couple of G's, then I gave back a little bit. But at the end of the week, I won. And that's more gratifying than anything. And I can't wait for Monday already. I can't wait for Monday. So anyway, hey, I love you all. Thanks for listening to this webinar. I hope it did help you. Just wanted to talk to you. Just give you an idea of scalp trading, what to look for, set your risk rewards. And I'm going to continue to do these things. All right. So take care. God bless.